So today's focus is multiplying integers. Again, remember integers are our numbers from negative infinity to positive infinity. So our negative and our positive numbers. We've done addition and subtraction, so we're moving on to multiplying. The key to remember when multiplying is basically just going to be when is my answer positive versus when is my answer going to be negative. It's pretty simple. Your positive solution is going to be if you are multiplying things with the same sign. So two positive numbers multiplied together or two negative numbers multiplied together. You will get a negative solution if you are multiplying two things with different signs. So that is your negative times a positive. So if we look at example A, I'm taking a -3 times a -5. Those have the same signs. So this would get dragged and dropped into the positive solution. Versus if we look at B, that is a -2 times 12, which is different signs. So that's going to give you a negative solution. So all you have to do for this slide is drag and drop what kind of solution it's going to be. It doesn't actually ask you to do the math yet. The next slide is where we're going to actually do the math. So again, just keep in mind, same signs, positive, opposite sides, negative. So I've got a negative and a positive here, so that's going to be a negative solution, and I know that 5 times 3 is 15, so I look for my -15 and we drag and drop here. Keep in mind that if a number is sitting right next to parentheses, that just means to multiply. It's just another way to say multiply. So this says 6 times -6. Again, a pretty straightforward slide. This last one's a little trickier. This one says drag and drop each step of the order of operations to solve the problem. Not all answers are used. Then it says evaluate the expression if C is -5. So what that means is you look here and any place you see a C, you will replace it with the number -5. So if I'm looking at the first step of this, I want to replace this C with -5. So I look down here, here it is, 6, and instead of a C, I see a -5. So this becomes my first step. See how that C was just replaced by the -5? And then I go to my order of operations, which says if there's anything in parentheses, you do that first. There are numbers in parentheses here, but no math inside parentheses. What that would look like is like problem 3 over here, 1 minus m. That's parentheses. Next is multiply and divide. So I'm going to multiply this 6 by 5 next. It's a positive and a negative, different signs. So I'm looking for -30. Here it is. So I'm going to drag and drop there. That's the next step. Do I have anything else to multiply or divide? I do not. So I move on to 3, which is add and subtract. Here we have to think back to our previous lessons. I've got a -30 and the opposite of -7. So that means I am making this a addition problem. So I've got -30 plus 7, which gives me -23. Here's that step there. And that leaves -23 plus 9 positives. That should give me -14, and I drag and drop my final answer there. So that's how this slide works. I like this slide because it's combining all of what we've done so far. It's combining your multiplying integers, your adding integers, and your subtracting integers. This one should be very similar to the one we just did. This third one is going to be a little bit harder, but I think you can do it. And those are your 3 slides for multiplying integers.